conference. So it is Thursday. I am Thursday before, and I'm sitting here in a parking lot. Just dropped off my kids for soccer, and I'm supposed to be writing a welcome letter. I got my laptop needs to be gone through, which got me reflecting a little bit, and I figured rather than write, I'm going to speak. So this is year 5, which means quite a bit. I remember the very first year when we did this, I didn't even know if we would make it the first year. It was it's just difficult. You're starting from nothing. But there were a lot of people back then that told us there was no way we could pull off a conference in Chicago. It was a dead market. There was no community. There's no sense of community, which really just infuriated me. It was the reason we wanted to do it in the first place. We knew that there was a lot of really good developers, a lot of good people, and we just needed a platform to get together. Everybody, we're pretty spread out across Chicago and Indiana, Milwaukee, although Indiana's an entire state, but it's pretty spread out. And so I wasn't having that. Thankfully, I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of very driven individuals who weren't having it either. And so we set out to create that conference. So here we are 5 years later, and the same principles hold true. Our job as we see it is to create a platform, is to create a place where people feel safe, where we can geek out on technology, where men, women, children, black, white, Asian, Latino, whatever, can come together and talk about how they're successful. Because the things that I see are people building software that runs machines that saves people's lives, software that runs microcontrollers and tornado sirens and insurance and healthcare and you name it. There's a lot of really cool tech that happens in the Midwest and the larger Midwest. I mean, I think we're all sometimes a little too humble or too afraid to share. So one of the principles about that conference was to create this platform. And that's really all we can do. I can't tell anybody what to say. I can't tell anybody how to behave. I can ask everybody behave in a certain way. But ultimately, it's the people who show up and what they do and how they interact, which defines what the conference is itself. I think we have something unique. Some of those same people that have come to me and said we would never be successful have come and tried to do their thing and replicate what we've done, and have failed. I shouldn't say they failed, that's mean. They haven't come back, and shame on them. And we continue to go, and we will continue to go. So, how do you make that conference a success for you? Everybody wants 5, 6, a list of tips. I'll tell you what my tips are. First tip, make yourself uncomfortable. Go to sessions that you wouldn't necessarily go to. That's why it's there. That's why we try to pick a really diverse lineup. You can go Google how to use Angular or whatever framework you're using today. But you can't talk to the people. And that's what this is about. So that's tip 1. Go to stuff you don't like. Tip number 2. If you go to something that you don't know, or you go to a session you do know, it doesn't really matter, but you don't like it, then leave. Get up. Go to another session. It's not rude. It's fine if it's just something that maybe you thought was going to be different. So get up and leave. Tip 3, shake somebody's hand. In fact, shake 10 people's hand. There's a reason when everybody registers, we're out there shaking hands and saying hi, because we want everybody to know everybody. It's about community. It's about the people that are there. So shake somebody's hand, meet them, meet their spouse, meet their kids. It's a pretty cool thing, and there's a ton of people that you might not realize that are actually there. See, that's 3. 4, get involved in open spaces. We could have another 15 sessions or so if we wanted, in those 2 rooms that we take over, but open space is a pretty important piece of our DNA. I don't want to dictate the conversation. There are a lot of things that we cannot predict. There are a lot of things that we get wrong. And open spaces is this place for people to get involved and have a conversation that they is top of mind for them. I've gone and had fantastic time sitting in circles talking to people about things I never would have ever thought. Even if you don't want to be in one, just go in a room and suck up the energy that's in there. It's pretty cool. It's hard not to be energized from that. Next, take advantage of the networking time in between sessions. We have 30 minutes in between so that you have an opportunity to talk to the speaker. You have an opportunity to speak to your like-minded friends that join that same session, so that you have time to go talk to our partners outside. We don't want things to be rushed. We want you to have the opportunity to clarify and ask questions, to meet those people that are doing the same thing that you're interested in. That's the point. Next, have fun. Be respectful. Set an example. There's 1,500 people that are going to be here. I would never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that we would have had 1,500 people. This year, the family track itself is bigger than our entire first year. 300 kids, almost 300, I think 290 something. It'll be 300 by the time. A few hundred spouses. It's bigger than when we first started. I have met some amazing kids who are making some of the coolest stuff in tech. We as adults can learn from them. I often ask my kids how they perceive tech in certain ways because they grew up with it differently than I did as a kid. And their entire outlook is just completely different. And I think that's what makes us unique. We've got 30-some kids speaking about tech. Whether it's writing software to making robots or flying at paper airplanes. It's really, really exciting. But we as adults, we also have to set the example. They look up to us as a figurehead in the industry. So we need to make sure that we set the right one. We keep it safe, such that we teach them and they teach us. We can all go out to Twitter and see the hate and passive-aggressive comments made. None of that does anybody a bit of good. In fact, it just makes people feel bad, and it teaches people that that's the way they should act. And I got a huge problem with that. That's not the way we should act. We should be building each other up. We have an industry that is quite immature compared to something like plumbing or electrical or building buildings, engineering. We have a lot to learn as an industry. And so let's try to make it better. Let's try to make it a place that's safe, that's fun for kids, that our kids want to get into, not something our kids want to shy away from. Or new people, doesn't have to be just kids. Next, don't wait in line. 5 years. The line is getting longer and longer at registration every time, and we feel horrible. You have about 8 to 10 people at work registration. There's a reason it's a meet and greet. We want people to meet people. We greet, you guys go meet. So we'll stay open as long as it takes to get everybody registered. The bar will stay open. We'll be making fun badges and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have to stand in line. Go mingle. When the line gets down lower, then jump in line. If you want to stand in line, God bless. We'll be walking through, shaking everybody's hands. It's hopefully we can keep it to a minimum, but with 1,500 people, that's going to be difficult. So be warned. I appreciate everybody's patience, because it certainly is a big line. Next, take in the keynotes. We've always wanted the keynotes to be something that would inspire you to want to continue on your day, that would inspire you to do better at your craft, to invest in yourself. And so our keynotes have never been something like the next new framework. We've never let a company pitch a new product. It has been how somebody got to where they were. How Max Lynch created Ionic. This year, we've got 3 amazing people doing keynotes. I respect and admire each one of them. I think if you don't leave inspired about what you do in life, then I would be surprised. I'm really genuinely excited about the people coming to speak. I'm excited that we continue to have that format, because I think we all need to sit back and reflect and recharge so that we become a better person and do better. It's easy to get caught in the grind and just forget. And so, again, I look at those keynotes as that let's not forget. Let's rewind. Let's recharge. Let's group together and go kick butt. Lastly, and this has been the thing that we continue to strive, and it gets better each year, but we have work to do, which is continue the conversation after the conference. So, we've tried with IRC. We had about 15 people in there. This year we've got Slack going. It's been going for a few months now. There's over 200 people in there. And so I always thought of that conference as this pilgrimage to where we could all get together, and it was a family reunion and hugs and catch up and kind of go from there. But the thing that needs to happen is the conversation needs to continue. It needs to go back to your user groups. It needs to go back to your colleagues at work. It needs to continue inside of that conference 365 days a year. We have an incredible community of people, of which I guess I get to experience a little bit more just because I'm in the center of it all. But I've gotten in Slack and asked Aaron Douglas to help me out with something on iOS, and he didn't have to help me. I mean, we know each other as a result of that conference. It wasn't, I had no prior existence to meeting him, and I knew that he had some iOS knowledge and I needed some help, and he was willing to help me. And that's the core of like community and the thing that we're doing. And again, if we're the ones creating the platform, we have people from Chicago, Minneapolis, Grand Rapids, Milwaukee, Madison, Des Moines, Dubuque, Austin, everywhere. And so here's this incredible opportunity to find and interact with these people 365 days a year at no barrier. Like there's no reason you can't do it. And so I guess that would be my ask of everybody is, you want to be involved in a conversation, join Slack, continue it afterwards, and share. I mean, that's just cool stuff. So anyways, it's my little rant. I've been trying to record some more of these to talk about some of the behind the scenes. The last couple you can see have been in the car. Like I said, I'm supposed to be writing a welcome letter right now. If it doesn't make it to the printer tomorrow, I'm in deep doo-doo. So, with that said, here's a few of my hot topic items. I can't wait to see everybody. I guess in 7 days' time, it'll all be over with, and we'll be talking about 2017. So, get ready. We're going to have some fun.